Hare Krishna, Manju.
Hey Krishna, Bua.
How are you, beta?
I'm good, Bua. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
Where are you?
I'm at my place.
Okay.
Huh.
मंजू खा लिया?
Yeah.
और बताओ.
Nothing. I'm just the air that my mattress cover just got dry. I had to dry it like 2 different times for it to get fully dry.
ज़्यादा टाइम लेता है ड्राई करने बेटा.
Yeah, I know. So then I just finished making the bed. Now I changed the sheets, everything. I done.
ऐसे ही हैंग कर देती है अपना सूख जाता है.
Where would I hang it, Mommy?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, I'm muting myself.
Okay.
Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. It's 7:30. Let's go ahead and get started. There is no verse for this evening, so I'll ask that Tandavika Prabhu go ahead and unmute himself, and we can get started. Tandavika Prabhu?
He's on his phone, so I just asked him to unmute. He was the first person on too. There he is. Oh no, he just got muted again. Prabhu, you're muted again. You were unmuted, now you're muted again. There.
Hare Krishna, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
Prabhu.
you.
Okay. Sorry, Prabhuji.
No problem.
Prabhuji, can you be my responder?
Absolutely not. Yeah, I'll do it, Prabhu.
Wow. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste सरस्वती देवं गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्चात्यादिसत्तारिणी
Namaste Saraswati Devim Gauravani Prachanine Nirvikesha Sunyavadi Paschadeshatanine
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Tanya
Nityananda Shri
Nityananda
Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tanda.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. So Vishnu Charan Prabhu, it's your time for Yashomati Nandan. So Prabhu, you'll have to sing till or at least wrap up by 8.
यशोमति नंदन भज बर नागर गोकुल रंजन कानन यशोमति नंदन भज बर गोकुल रंजन कानन यशोमति नंदन भज बर नागर गोकुल रंजन कानन यशोमति नंदन भज गोकुल रंजन कानन गोपी पराणन मदन मनोहर गोपी पराणन मदन मनोहर गोपी पराणन मदन मनोहर गोपी पराणन मदन मनोहर कालिया धमन विधान कालिया धमन विधान कालिया धमन विधान कालिया धमन विधान अमल हरिनाम मिया विलासा विपिन पुराण नवीन नगोर पुराण अमल हरिनाम मिया विलासा विपिन पुराण नवीन नगोर आमला हरिनाम मिया विलासा आमला हरिनाम मिया विलासा आमला हरिनाम मिया विलासा आमला हरिनाम मिया Vipina Purandhara Navina Nagara Varavansi Badana Sumasa Vipina Purandhara Navina Nagara Varavansi Badana Sumasa Vipina Purandhara Navina Nagara Varsivadana Sumasa Vipina Purandhara Navina Nagara Varsivadana Sumasa Braja Jana Palana Surakulana Sana Braja Jana Palana Surakulana Sana Braja Jana Palana Surakulana Sana Braja Jana Palana Surakulana Nanda Godhana Rakavala Nanda Godhana Rakavala Nanda Godhana Rakavala Nanda Godhana Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Yamuna Dadajara Gopi Vasana Yamuna Gopi Vasana Yamuna Dadajara Gopi Vasana Yamuna Dadajara Gopi Vasana Rasarasiko Kripamaya Rasarasika Kripamaya Rasarasika Kripamaya Rasarasika Kripamaya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavar Vakati Vinoda Ashaya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavar Vakati Vinoda Ashaya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinoda Ashaya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinoda Ashaya Yashomati Nandana Rajaparanagara Gokula Ranjana Kanam Yashomati Nandana Rajaparanagara Gokula Ranjana Kanam Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Binana Gopi Pranadhana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Binana Amallarina Miya Vinasa Amallarina Amiya Vinasa Vipina Purandhara Navina Nagora Bora Vanasi Badana Sivasa Vipina Purandhara Nagara Bora Nasivata Nasumasa ब्रज जन पालन सुर कुल नासन ब्रज जन पालन सुर कुल नासन नंद गोधन रखवाला नंद गोधन रखवाला यमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हर यमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हर रासिक सिक कृप मोहा आसरसिक कृप मोहा श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर भगति विनोदाश्रय श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर भक्ति विनोदाश्रय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल 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 जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय कृष्ण मैया यशोदा के पुत्र है, ब्रजभूमि के दिव्य प्रेमी हैं, गोकुल वासियों को आकर्षित करने वाले कान्हा हैं, गोपियों के प्राणधन हैं, मदन कामदेव का मन हरने वाले तथा कालीय नाग का दमन करने वाले हैं। कृष्ण के नाम गायन करने में अत्यधिक अमृतमय आनंद देने वाले हैं। कृष्ण व्रज के द्वादश वनों के अधिपति हैं तथा उनके सौंदर्य में सदैव अति नवीनता रहती है। वे मुरली बजाते हैं तथा अति सुंदर वस्त्र पहनते हैं। कृष्ण ब्रजवासियों के रक्षक तथा संपूर्ण असुर वंश का नाश करने वाले हैं। कृष्ण नंद महाराज की गायों की रखवाली करने वाले तथा लक्ष्मीपति माखन चोर हैं तथा नंद महाराज के सुंदर गोपाल हैं। कृष्ण यमुना तट पर विचरने वाले तथा गोपियों का चीरहरण करने वाले हैं। कृष्ण को अपने भक्तों से प्रेमालाप करना अति रुचिकर है। कृष्ण कृपामय है, राधा रानी के प्रेमी हैं, वृंदावन में सबसे कुशल नर्तक है तथा भक्ति विनोद के एकमात्र आश्रय हैं।
Thank you, Prabhu. So this evening's lecture will be given by His Holiness Honorable Bishop Maharaj. Maharaj has already joined. Hey Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can I share my screen?
Yes, Maharaj, it's enabled.
Okay. Share screen. Can you see Hanuman?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yep.
Okay. And so after Vishnu Charan making a nice presentation in Hindi, I will make a small revenge and speak in Spanish. Shriman Vishnu Charan Prabhu que tiene el gorro negro es un urologist, pero no es una proctologista. No es proctologist. Es más bajo. Muy buen devoto. Está presentando en Hindi, que es muy buen idioma. En Hindi ellos dicen ha. En español es ay. Okay, tenemos que aprender 3 idiomas, Hindi, español, y inglés. We have to learn 3 languages, Hindi, Spanish, and English. They're very similar. In Hindi, you say he. In Spanish, you say I. Yeah. In so many Spanish words. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Somebody respond. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Jana Bala Bagiri Varadari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari.
Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana.
Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Jamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Okay, so here we have our PowerPoint show. Can you see our PowerPoint show?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, I'll push F5. So in Upanishadmrita it says, Sangat Sanjayate Kama. One's desires and ambition develop from the company he keeps. And that's, of course, how Prabhupada's interpreting the text from, I guess it's third chapter. Usually it says that by contemplating the objects of the senses, one develops desire, things like that. But here, Prabhupada's making it more basic, that Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Whatever kind of association we keep, from that our desires and ambitions develop. So we've been associating with this academic community in ISKCON. It's our nature. Okay, Bhaktivedanta Institute, and then the Ministry of Education, NEOS. Yeah, and so for the Mayapur Institute, we were asked by Krishna Nagar, our friend for many years, who to do the 2 weeks of seminar for their Bhaktivedanta studies, the Bhaktivedanta diplomas. So the first one we just finished. It was February 1st to 5th, and was very intense program. Oh my goodness! It was 4:30 in the morning until 7 o'clock in the morning, every day. Yeah, and we again we checked. We went to it. Bhakti, what's his name? Our South Indian sannyasi. I can't remember his name. Bhakti something. Yeah. Anyway, we saw his classes at the end and got tuned right in. It's a good way to always attend the predecessors' classes. And there was about an hour preparation at least every day. And this is the PowerPoint show we use for that. We did chapters 9, 8, 9, 9, 9, 10, 9, 11, 9, 12. And we started off with a little description here. You may see some local movie stars here, famous people. Have a little bit of our biography. Here I am. Am I Hanuman Prashak Swami dreaming of a monkey, dreaming I am a monkey? Or am I a monkey dreaming I'm Hanuman Prashak Swami? Carl Jung's going to answer this, okay? We have some other people here. You may recognize some of them. There's a couple Dr. Singhs in there. Dr. Singh. Okay. So we were born on Guam 48, graduated University of California 1970, took sannyas 84, started Bhaktivedanta Institute, 2004 NEOS. 2024, we're planning on taking a very special trip. And of course, our website is jairama.us. Okay. And then we presented. Can you see our slides, Abhishek?
I'm sorry, Maharaj?
Can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so then we presented the Bhaktivedanta library, all of Srila Prabhupada's books. And you can see the heart is the Srimad Bhagavatam. And at the bottom, we have the Upanishad, Shrutis, which include everything. From Prabhupada, we have Isopanishad, and then we have Gita Upanishad. And then Chaitanya Charitamrita is a Srimad Bhagavatam class. And then we show the different books of Prabhupada and basically how they all can be related to Srimad Bhagavatam like that. So we can see that there's a very coherent, consistent study. Okay. Then we went specifically into a summary of the 12 cantos. and we can see that there are in the Bhagavatam, which is the heart. First two cantos are Krishna's lotus feet, and you can take on the attitude and life of our cow. On the right-hand side, you see a cow, and the cow is licking Krishna's feet. And this seems to be a good preoccupation for quite some time. You don't have to become any more sophisticated in this to be, completely successful in spiritual life. Okay. Then 3 through 9 is Manu Kata, cantos 3 through 9, which breaks down into Swayambhuva Manu and his children, 3 through 7, and then Manus 2 through 14, the other Manus in chapter 8, canto 8. And finally, in the canto we're studying now, and it's nice just to look at it again and again from different perspectives, is all about our Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, and how he, and how all of his descendants. Okay. Then after that, it'll go on to 10 and 11, which are Krishna's pastimes in Mathura, Dwarka, Mathura, Vrindavan, Dwarka. Okay. And Canto 11 goes back to Krishna, Vaivasvata Manu's descendants after Krishna and Balaram, because Krishna and Balaram appear in that dynasty. And finally, Canto 12 is an epilogue, Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, summary of Srimad Bhagavatam, like that. So this is what we're studying, our kind of trying to see the forest here. Okay. So then we went through chapter 8, the sons of Maharaj Sagara, meet Kapila Dev, and 10, the pastimes of Ramachandra. We also did 9 here somewhere too, a dynasty of Amsuman. And now as I review this, I remember this. This is all about Maharaj Jayati and all of his descendants. And how Maharaj Sagara, he was born with poison. His stepmothers tried to poison him. It's a very, very difficult role. Most of the stepmothers in the Bhagavatam do not turn out well. Most co-wives, there's a lot of problems. Every body, sannyasi body, female body, child body, old person body, Indian body, American body, everybody has its tendencies. And if you're in that particular body, you should understand how to use it properly so it can become perfect, in the service of Krishna. Okay, so then somebody stole the horse or something. Yeah, Indra stole the horse. So his grandsons went off and found it near Kapila and tried to attack Kapila Dev, shoot first, ask questions later, and burst into ashes. Got totally annihilated by that philosophy. But then their descendant was able then to bring the water of the Ganges and save their souls. So they went to heaven. They didn't go back to Godhead. And then the sacrifice was performed properly. Then it comes down, Bhagirata brought it into this world, and we can't remember exactly what happens after that. But it goes down to, I guess it's Katvanga. And Katvanga Maharaj is famous for his charity. He gave, water to, he always was giving charity to everybody else, everything else. And he must have had a very, very understanding wife like that, who was appreciating her husband's oddities. So very, very nice example of how to sacrifice for Krishna 100%. He gave away his food, he gave away his water, and I think it was maybe his Maharaj Sibi, wasn't him, came and took part of his muscles. And then all the demigods showed up and said, hey, we were just demigods testing you, like that. Oh my God. Yeah. And so then he achieved complete perfection by the austerity. So the 9th canto is just full of these stories of, different passionate sexual relations, sometimes illicit, and different severe austerities. And it's almost like a final challenge before we were allowed to enter the 10th canto, if we could really enter into the Baba. And so then now, next week, we were pretty much ready for this. We've got our pacing down. We're learning how to do these things. We're advancing a lot in devotional service. You can actually see that. I mean, better human beings. So next week will be Bhaktivedanta Institute Studies, Mayapur Institute, February 2021, February 14th through 19th. Srimad Bhagavatam 9:19 to 24, revised 2021, February 12th. And this, of course, finally culminates, all the different arrows there you see, culminates in Krishna's pastimes. And Krishna's pastimes are so different than anybody else's pastimes we've seen. Most incarnations do not give liberation. Yes, that's correct, Monosito. They come and set things right, and the demigods thank them and ask them when they're leaving, so they can get back to their life like us. When is the arati going to be over? When is the class going to be over? I think most of us in the material world, we're still doing devotional service in terms of satisfying our material desires. But that's okay. We're still servants of Krishna. But if we have the right attitude, it's the right place to be. But we'll see, the Pandavas and the Kauravas and Krishna and Vrindavan with the gopis and how Vishnudev and different devotees were reacting to all these things. So we're coming right down here. Chapter 24 is actually Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it might have just stated that. After that, it might have just continued with the other descendants of Vaivasvata Manu after Krishna and Balaram. But Maharaj Pariksit said, well, tell me more details. Okay, so this is what's going on. Krishna's giving us options. Dhruva Maharaj rejected his guru. Bali Mardana rejected his guru. What is it? Maharaj Pariksit rejected his guru. Yeah. And politely, yes. But in the end, we're really convinced. And in some cases, it was a test. It was a test from the spiritual master to see, what do you really want? What do you really want? So we have our desires in life. We have free will, and we are architects of our own future. We're very tiny, like little children, 3-year-old kids. Everybody knows that 3-year-old kids need to be protected, but everybody knows they have their own opinion about reality, what's happening, and they have something they can contribute, even if nobody wants them to. They can contribute something. Okay, so what we've done so far, this takes up a bit of work. If you make a PowerPoint show, but here are the chapter titles. The liberation of Yayati, because he was attracted by Sarmista, the daughter of Shukracharya. We attended Krishna Kshetra Maharaj's class this morning. He's given the last week of studies like that. And so it's a very nice camaraderie. And we get to talk to our godbrothers, Bhakti Chaitanya Swami from South Africa. And I kind of sit there, and after a while, sometimes they recognize, oh, Honorable Prashok Swami is here. It's like, yes. So I had a nice discussion with Krishna Kshetra a little bit this morning, and all the very nice students. So my Yayati is a very nice story with, Sarmista and Devayani and all these, feminine rivalry, and the daughter dictating to her father, about how things should go on. So they were enjoying sense gratification for a long time, but then finally, because they were doing it following Dharma, they began to gradually realize. He began to realize, this is not going to make me happy. So in the little black square, we have a gray square. We have Yayati disgusted with material happiness, a story of a he-goat and a she-goat. And of course, there's a very, very great movie somebody could make, the he-goat and the she-goat, starring Tom Cruise and so-and-so. Or Arnold Schwarzenegger and I don't know who else, And then he explains this analogy about he's a he-goat, she's a she-goat, okay? And then they both become detached and they attain liberation. Okay. Chapter 20, the dynasty of Puru. So Puru was the son of Yayati, who gave his youth to his father because his father still had these desires, And we see this. I know devotees. One devotee that's passed on recently, he was saying, and it would seem to be true, that he had these desires and stuff. And a very sincere devotee, very nice book distributor, so dedicated to Prabhupada, but being irritated by these things. So what's the surprise if he takes birth in his next life as Maharaj Yayati and really gets a chance to express all these desires and discovers it doesn't work? How many stories of Grihastha ashram are there in the Bhagavatam which follow exactly along these lines, where very, very nice devotees, very superior devotees, still have some attachment, and so they experiment with this, you know, when in a proper, authorized way, and they arrive at a conclusion in one lifetime, you know, and they all go back to Godhead. Okay. The dynasty of Puru comes down to Dushmanta. You can see in the tan square there. And the story of Shakuntala, very famous story. And he, of course, was enamored by her. Whenever anybody goes to the forest, it seems to be a problem like that. These kings, all their problems happen in the forest. So Shakuntala, of course, became the mother of Bharata, and the whole of Mera Bharat Mahanhe is named after Maharaj Bharata, they say. Okay, and he's the father of so many people after him. In chapter 21, the dynasty of Bharata, and it comes down and includes Rantidev. You know. Okay, so here's Rantidev giving his, or his Katvanga. I gotta sort this out of my mind too. I'm still trying to figure all these things out. Okay, you see how we're doing it. So first you try and give an overview. Okay. 22, descendants of Ajamita, which includes one purport, 9:22:32 about Manipur. So we can talk about that. We're seeing different people giving classes is very nice because different devotees are expert on different things. So the Mayapur Institute is trying to run these things properly. There are criticisms of them, and that we love the critics, but also we love the critics who do something about it. You know, if you think the Ministry of Education is not steady in handling things, my institute is more steady. Okay, then you got a responsibility to help the Ministry of Education to become steady. This is the thing. 23 dynasties of the sons of Yayatu. It describes these. And one of these, 22 or 23, is maybe the shortest, chapter in the Bhagavatam in terms of maybe you open them up using Vedabase.io, go to, from default view, change it to advanced view, and only look at the purports, everything else. Then go control minus, 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 it'll become very small. And you can see the entire chapter in front of you then. You could even do control F purports and count how many purports there are. You got to subtract 2 because it occurs in the beginning and the end. And sometimes the purports are just like one sentence illuminating a specific fact, some specific information. And it really allows you to do these overviews nicely, because then we have 5 days to organize this symposium. And it looks like I'm going to be able to present then more of our Bhakti Vedanta level studies for Upadeshamrita, which students are appreciating. Prabhupada said Bhakti Vedanta should be the second 6 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam and all the Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti by Baba books. In chapter 24, Vasudeva had other wives from the womb of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This chapter ends by glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how many of our participants want to be Devaki in the next lifetime? Or something like that. They must have had servants there with them, you know. Kamsa is not such a rascal. He's not going to allow, Devaki and Vasudeva to have their servants with them. So maybe you can be Devaki's servant next lifetime. Okay. Then, by the mercy of Dr. Ravi Prakash Singh, also Tagore Sundardas, we then scanned the genealogical tables and try and give some perspective on these things. Yeah. You're not going to get everything in one lifetime. Maybe it's unlimited, but get some nice practical thing. So here's descendants of Pururava coming down in Vaivasvata Manu. And we see we've highlighted it with little red boxes. That takes time. Pururava then goes over to Yayati, who we're talking about. And for Yayati, we've already seen the Puru dynasty on the right side. And it says, see pages following. There are 10 pages of genealogical charts in the Bhagavatam. So these are important. You have to understand why they're important. The left side is Yadu. And from Yadu, it keeps on going down from many different persons to the Madhu dynasty. Okay. See next page. Okay. Then we see on the side of Yadu, it goes to the Sattvatas. Then it goes over to the Vrishnis. Then it comes on down to another Vrishni, which is maybe the real Vrishni. Then one of his sons was Swapalaka, who's the father of Akura. You know? And we see it coming on down Chitrarata, Vidarata, Hrideka, Surasena. We know him. Vasudev, who was the father of Balaram and Krishna. And also Maharaj Surasena was the father of Kunti. So we can see that Vasudeva and Kunti are brother and sister. And then she's the mother of Kunti and the Pandavas. Sorry, Karna and the Pandavas. Okay. But back up on the top again, we see Andak, Vrishni and Andak, both part of the same clans. And that comes down to Maharaj Devaka and Maharaj Ugrasena, who then became the father of Kangsa. You know. And Devaka then became the father of Devaki. Okay. I think maybe, I'm not sure if she was the daughter of Ugrasena or something that was given to Devaka to raise. More and more, this is reality, so it's a little complicated. Here, all the birds are talking about who married who. Okay. So finally, then we have Puru. Okay, and he was then, as we say, coming on down to Dushmanta, who was then the father of Bharata by Shakuntala. And coming on down, we see that goes over to a goat. And the goat then is the, is that Ranti Dave? I'm confused here a little bit. Yeah, oh no, Katvanga was the person who achieved liberation in one moment. There we go, I got it figured out by talking to you all, thank you. Mars Katvanga was fighting for the demigods, and he told him, what benediction do you want? Well, how much longer am I going to live to enjoy it? Maybe like 5 minutes. Oh, so immediately he came down to earth, chanted Hare Krishna, and became self-realized. So this is the 9th canto. People are squeaking through. Gods and goddesses like us, yogis and yoginis like us. And here's the example of be careful. Maybe you're like Maharaj Katvanga. So Ranti Dev tells the story of the goat. Then we go other side, we get Ajamida, we saw there. And on the left, it goes down through Nila, so-and-so, on down to Dropad Maharaj, who's the father of Draupadi, Drishtadyumna, and Drishtaketu. Other side to Kripa and Kripi, who's the father of Ashvatthama. So then on the other side, we have Maharaj Kuru. Okay, you see him coming on down to one line which includes Brihadratha, then over to Jahanu, I think was a sage. Then down to, we start seeing people who appear in the Mahabharata, then Balika, Santanu, who was the father of Bhishma, Chitrangada, and Vichitravirya. And I guess some of them were dying of different kinds of problems. Actually, he died, I think, without offspring, really. Bhishma, I can't remember exactly, but somehow he didn't have children so well. So then his wife, her name now, Vasu, she asked Vyasadeva to come. So it's not mentioned here, but actually the line then doesn't really go from this line like that because Vyasa takes over. Okay. Then it comes down to Dhritarashtra, Vidura, and Pandu. And from there, we know the whole story like that. So we're going to try and present this next week and try and refresh ourselves in terms of a little bit of perspective. And that's just about it. Okay. So then right now, simultaneously, we're doing the Kapidwaja. There it is. Yeah. And we do this every 2 weeks. It's the oldest continuous periodical in ISKCON, except for the Sankirtan newsletter and Back to Godhead magazine, right here in your community. February 11th, Madhava Amavasya. Okay, this is the Sankirtan Babble of the Anjana Sudha Academy, jayarama.us. And right there we see it. Okay. A pioneering branch of ISKCON, founder Acharya Srila GBC Secretary Veerabahu Das, edited by Tom Brown, Buckwhite et al. Branch head, H.P. Swami, published each new and full moon day. And one of our first features is Wandering Miscreants to 7:38 p.m. today, 16 rounds done. Shriman Tandavika Das is leading the Radha Bar Friday night kirtan. And Esquire Abhishek is responding. Okay. Is the chief right now. Okay. Okay. There you go. This copy dwaja is late. See, we'll finally just do it. And we get it late, but we're just really trying to get it out on time. If you're going to do a periodical, which is nice, it should really be getting out on time. That's what a periodical means. And so we quote from Raktak Das here, stand back fools unless you want to die. The copy dwaja is about to fly. Okay. So Hanuma Prashak Swami gives up and turns the production of this thing over to Tom Brown, but Monkey and Piggy. And we were going through this. We talked about the Mayapur Institute and our experiences and our plans. Talked about letters to the editor. We have a blog. You can join us right there. You know, at I'll put it in here. Why not? You know, www.jayarama.us. Well, actually, they don't need that, because if you go to the link above that, jayarama.us/copy.us, that's letters to the editor, that will explain the blog and everything else. Okay. And we're doing Twitter, Huber Robinson. Okay. And we figure that's how the monkeys all stay together. That's how the flock of birds stay together, because they all tweet. One tweet means I'm over here, I haven't found food, I'm looking, I haven't found food, I'm over here, I'm looking, no danger. It's basically the cool tweet. But then there's another tweet which means danger, cat, something, okay? Then there's the found food. Then there's a tweet which is basically pulled together, time to take rest. So Krishna does the same thing with his flute when he toots, you know? He has different songs, and the cows know, okay, that's a grazing song. What's cool? That's a sit down and chew cud song. That's a get up on your feet and start heading home song, you know. And so it's just Twitter is a very natural thing. We tweet poetry, other things. Paper mail, we write letters to people. You write to us and we respond. And we got a couple like Vyasa Puja letters from what do you call it? Purushottam and Chaitanya, Radhika Raman and Mother Amrita Kele's nice kids, young men. And so we took the time and wrote a 5-page letter. 6 pieces of photocopy paper is 1 ounce. Okay? So include the envelope and make it 5 pages. You get your money's worth. Okay? So we're sending off paper mail and stuff like that. Okay? That's about as far as we got. Got the copy dwaja here. Calendar, we haven't updated the calendar from last time. Won't be able to do it, but it's there. You can go and look at our calendar, and it has with the Vaishnava calendar included. Today is the day after Amavasya. We're 1 day late. We'll get it out tonight, hope to. The next Tuesday will be Vasant Purnima, Vasant Panchami. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it's the beginning of it or the end of it. Looks like it's the end of it. Yeah. So we've lived through the winter, and it seems like that. The days are getting longer. And of course, it takes some time to heat up. You see that. But when the spring is here and the sun is coming. Yeah. So that will be appearance of Vishnu Priya Devi Dasi and Saraswati Puja. Okay, big day for education. Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Raghunandan Thakur, and Raghunath Das Goswami. So very auspicious day next Tuesday. And then the 18th will be next Thursday will be the appearance of Advaita Acharya, fasting. You see, before Lord Chaitanya, all the different acharyas appear. Then Saturday, disappearance of Madhavendra Puri. Sunday, Ramanuja Acharya. Okay. So Friday will be right after Advaita Acharya, next meeting. Then Tuesday, 23rd is fasting for Varaha Dwadasi, Ekadasi. And then 24th, Wednesday, will be Varaha Dwadasi, 25th, Nityananda Triodasi. And 26th of February will be Gaur Purnima. So how are we going to celebrate that in Shri Shri Radhanath Bhar's community? Maybe Abhishek will have a special shaking. So we have Guru Tattva, that's right here.
Nityananda Triyodashi.
That's on 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then,
so we'll be lecturing. They've already got an invitation to lecture for Miami. It's like we agreed to it. See the blog.
Giriraj Maharaj will be lecturing on Monday before that about Nityananda.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so we got to got to send your news into the copy Dwaja.
Okay.
And post it all. Yeah, make it an official borough. You could even have a columnist. Somebody can be, you know, something like that. Braying from the borough. So the borough bugle. So 7:58 p.m. we joined the borough kirtan. So we got to finish off our Guru Tattva section. Got to finish off Uncle Gizmo. He's the science editor for the what do you call it? So and so Copy Dwaja. We haven't got much to report in the way of money. Neos International has $85,000 public benefit, and Neos National has about maybe 60,000. So we're projects, and I'll mention it in here. We're going to finish off this program for the Mayapur Institute. And it's very, very nice. They're recording it. It's being broadcast by Facebook. So it's very nice for us. I mean, we'll never do this again. Hopefully it'll be an example, our example of how we want to do it. Then we have to go back to our commentary on Upadeshamrita and Tava Pachi Pachi with Radhika and Srinath and everybody else. And we're just about finished with that. It's edited. It should be very, very nice, like Waves of Devotion. We hope to, maybe even Danadar Myers can write a little commentary forward, to it, the younger brother. All that's left basically is I want to do an index to the Upadeshamrita preaching index. Where you can find 16 rounds, where you can find 4 principles, where you can find origin of the Jiva, Guru Tattva. Just like that's maybe collect some things. So after we finish this, maybe next week, after that, we'll be working on that. Then we want to finish off consolidating the general preaching programs we've done, like Science in the Vedas, World Classical Literature, and Interfaith Dialogue, maybe about 4 or 5 major topics. And along with that, we're working on a movie. And that's why we want to work on the $85,000. Diary of a Traveling Creature, The Ultimate Trip. And with that, trying to consolidate, go around. We want to mix it with animation and stuff like that. We have the people to do it now. We have United Nations members. We have good art, world-class cinematographers. And maybe they want to work out then. If it works out, it's to build a community. First, you need your vision, what you want to do. Then you can have relations, others on that basis who also know what they want to do. Then plans become very easy based upon these relationships. And once you have your plans, then it becomes very easy to organize what you need for materials. So it's kind of our focus now, and hopefully Neos and everything else get involved. Maybe Abhishek tomorrow and I will talk with Dr. Samaresh. But I'm focusing, and I would like to work on this movie and develop a very, very nice thing with which will stimulate more questions than it will be giving answers. There's many, many things that can be done. We see from our perspective in interfaith dialogue. There many things need to be done in ISKCON, which I guess we could call that ISKCON Warp World 5. It's Uncle Gizmo comes from an ISKCON in a parallel universe. Okay, so we have the funding, we have the people, and then, finish things off before we die. And finally, the very last thing here is Piggy's parting pearls. And Piggy then makes his final comments. So hopefully the copy Dwaja will be finished by the mercy of Tom Brown and Raktak Das. We'll get it off tonight. So, any comments, questions, complaints, suggestions, donations?
Did you say that Parikshit Maharaj also defied his guru?
Yes.
Can you
When
explain
was that?
Maharaj?
When was that?
When he did not accept the atonement process?
Bhakti Bhai Baba. Bhakti Bhai Baba. You get your award. The golden banana of yellow wisdom. Yes. Yeah. I'm not sure if there's another time, but we see that sometimes. It's very rare, Yeah. But it's even Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. There are times when he's actually, Krishna says, just fix your mind upon me, do this and that, and Arjuna says, hey man, this is impossible. You can't. It's not going to work, And so then Krishna says, you're right, but by constant detachment and practice, it works. Detachment, avoid the four simple activities, and constant practice, chant your rounds every day. And you actually can control your mind.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, quick question. Wondering if you could give us your take on this. I was loosely following a discussion this past week on the group about jivas and how some jivas are unborn, that they appear and reappear according to circumstances, and those that are born and have to be born. So how? Just wondering what you think qualitatively and quantitatively. How should we understand the differences between these two types of jivas?
Well, I think the Sanskrit term is right. You're talking about nitya siddhas and nitya baddhas.
Right.
Okay. This is I wish I could find it, but I've heard the Prabhupada said you are nitya baddha until you become nitya siddha. This, of course, goes back into the whole thing of the origin of the jiva and how we got here and what we never could have been with Krishna, because once you're with Krishna, you can't leave because there's too much pleasure, which is kind of like the argument of drug addiction, No. So my understanding, my perspective, and this, so much discussion, is that basically one time Prabhupada says we were with Krishna, but somehow or other we did not like to serve Krishna. So this is natural. There's a very deep, fundamental spiritual reason behind all this. So in any case, we like little children. We turn away from Krishna's birthday party, Krishna's friends, Krishna's cake, Krishna's cookies, Krishna's games. And in one corner, there's a little black and white television set going with snow on it with vertical roll. But it's the me show. It's the Amit show. Oh, hey. So we know what television does. It makes you totally forget what's going on. And in your total environment, you become absorbed. So through different levels then, maybe we fall down first into Ayodhya, then we fall into Vaikuntha, and we keep on falling with more and more desire for us. We go through the gross elements down to the very grossest element, we become bacteria, okay, enjoying halava. And because we got the halava from the Sunday feast, we start to go back up or something. So nitya baddha, nitya in this sense, eternal, the Mormons use it the same way. Doesn't mean for a long time, it means God's time. When the king tosses you in jail, when the king tosses his nephew in jail, that's eternal, eternal. But he can come out in 5 minutes. The king may just say, okay, process him, let him sit there for 1 hour, and then bring him back. Okay. Yeah, or else he may, it may be in there until you go ahead and actually apologize to your uncle, what you did like that. You're going to be king sometime or something. So now, nitya, eternal liberation, eternal damnation, doesn't refer to our Western idea of time, but it refers to under Krishna's direction, like that. And so that's what's happening ultimately. We're going through these things, and we have different karma, and we're eternally conditioned, but somehow or other, then we come in contact with a devotee or something like that, and then we can start to become go back to our original consciousness, like that. And then we become, we are again nitya siddha. Now, some people, some nitya siddhas, are always liberated. They never become nitya baddhas. And for example, like Arjuna appears to be, incarnating with Krishna as or expanding or incarnating as Narayan, Narayan. And then who knows, maybe Hanuman, other people like that. Radha and Krishna love to play these different pastimes. They just stop eating. They don't go home. You can find a Shokvan in Vrindavan. So that's what I would say, that some people are Vaikuntha Vasis who who come to the material world, maybe just one time for one pastime, or they come again and again. Or maybe they come 5 times, whatever. Prabhupada kind of talks about his whole background indicates that maybe he did this before. And maybe he's like like a kind of Vyasadeva, like incarnating. But that's some perspective on it. Is that okay?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Appreciate it.
Okay. I still have your containers here.
I'll get them sometime.
Okay. Yeah, your containers will be with me eternally.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we finish here. It's getting late,
His container will be Nitya Siddha Maharaj.
No, I can finish this. Free from. Okay, I stop here. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much. Amit Bey, are the girls available to sing the Nrsimha prayer?
Yes, give me 15 seconds, please.
Sure.
Namaste Narasingaya. Namaste Narasingaya. Pranadena Dedaine. Pranadena Dedaine. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha. Yato yato yami tato Nrsimha. Yato yato yami tato Nrsimha. Bahe Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha. Bahe Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha. Nrsimha Madhyam Sharanam Prapade. Nrsimha Madhyam Sharanam Prapade. Tava kar kamala pare nakama bhuta shingam. Danita hiranyakashipu tanubringham. Keshavadita narahari rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Tava kare kamala pare nakama bhuta shinga. Nalita hiranyakashipu tanubringa. Keshavadita narari rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Nrsimha Dev. 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 Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gurudev. Singh Bhagwan ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Thank you, ladies. So tomorrow we'll go back to our regular time, 8 o'clock. So if everyone can go ahead and mute themselves, we'll recite the Vaishnav Pranam prayer, please.
Kancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvesha Vaishnaveebhyo Vaishnaveebhyo